good afternoon, and welcome to BEntrepreneur Media Hub. My name is Sain, and today we are with Mr. Alexander Nehme, co-founder and chairman of Herbatica. This is part of the series that we're doing in collaboration with Unido, Idpo Bahrain, and the Arab Center of Entrepreneurship. So for those of you who haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also please follow us on social media. For the benefit of our audience, Mr. Alexander is an ambitious businessman with a big vision, and he specializes in herbal medicine, aromatherapy, and naturopathy, and he earned his degree in Lyon, France. So Mr. Alexander, can you tell us more about Herbatica and what inspired you to start the company?
Yeah, first of all, it's a pleasure for me to be part of your programs, BEntrepreneurs, and your channels. It's my first time that I did any interview in English. So usually, all my interview, the last interview, it was in French or my mother language, the Lebanese or Arabic language. So excuse myself if I express some words in the wrong way. But I will do my best to be on a good level in English. Let's go back to your questions. Who's inspired me? My uncle Wafi. He started the business since 40 years. At the first, my specialization was psychology.
Oh.
So I started doing my psychology, and meanwhile I spent some time with my uncle in his small shop. He called it Herbatica. It was a specialist in herbal supplement and herbal treatment even somehow. Then I stopped my specialization in psychology and I go to Paris, to France, and I did 4 years of specialization in herbalism.
Wow.
Then I go back to Herbatica, and I work with my uncle to develop the concept to be, let's say, on the international level. Mm-hmm. And we're still working on this, on this idea.
You are one of the success stories of the Bahrain model for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us and our viewers, like, how has the Unido Idpo Center for Entrepreneurship helped you in developing the business idea and the model?
Yes. Let me tell you something. At universities, when you do a specialization, at the end you will be specialized in somehow on what are you working on it in university. They didn't learn you how to make your business plan. Okay. Even they didn't learn you how to make your feasibility study. Mm. So at the first, it's good to have a good idea, but it's not enough to start your new business. What I learned from Unido and the Arab Center of Entrepreneurship and Idpo, they learned me how to build my business planning and how to building in a good way, not in the wrong way. So sometimes you can build your business plan, but you will build it in a wrong way. What I learned from them, how to build my business planning in a good way, and how I did my feasibility study. In university, I didn't learn SWOT analysis. One of things that you should work on it. I learned it from Unido and the Center of Entrepreneurship. And now, after 11 years, because I started working with Unido since 2010 in Beirut. So after 11 years, now I start to learn the new entrepreneurship to build a good business planning and feasibility study. And this is how we continue.
So you mentioned a while ago while we were chatting that it's not enough to have a good business idea. And many people, in fact, they may have a good business idea, they may have a plan, but they fail.
Yeah.
So why is this? Why do they fail?
There is a lot of reason to fail. As well, there is a lot of reason to succeed. So with succeed and fails, there is a small line. Okay. Or you go left or you go right. So to build a good business plan, It's to work on all the ways at the same time. So failed, it means you are not entrepreneur. You know, always I give to the new entrepreneur this example. There is SMEs that we call the small medium enterprises.
Yes.
And there is another way, the IDE, the innovative driven enterprises. And it's totally different. You can open a market, a small market in your town. It's an SMEs, okay? You will have a good idea, or you have a good idea, and you have the money. You can build your company and ask for employees, one for management, other one for financing, other employee for communication, and this is what we call it SMEs.
Yes.
Okay. The IDE, when you build your own innovative idea, you build your own business plan, you work on your own feasibility study, and try to pass all the bad factors that go in your way. This is what, in this way, you will not fail. And in this way, you will be really a good entrepreneur. And there is a big difference between being or open a small enterprises or being entrepreneur.
So let's go with that. Just wanted to ask, what does it take to be a good entrepreneur?
Take for what?
Like, what does it take for a person or an idea to be like a good business, or for a person to be a good entrepreneur?
Try to be a good entrepreneur. You should try to impact the good vibes. Okay, don't give up. And don't let the difficulties start to kill your inspire to be entrepreneur. Okay, so the good vibes, if you have a good vibes, if you inspire a good vibes in your and around your work, in this case you will not fail.
So speaking of difficulties, your company has faced two of the most severe difficulties, I think, that's happening right now.
In Lebanon.
One is the Lebanon crisis, and the other is the COVID-19 pandemic. So how has your business survived or thrived, and what adaptations did you have to do to face this difficult situation?
You know, for economic crisis, it's not new. It's starting since 4 or 5 years ago. Our company, it's like most of Lebanese companies. The economic crisis, it's stopped their development. But being entrepreneurs, or it's to adapt your company, your business through the economic. Okay, and it means that once you know the all concepts of your company, okay, so you should work on. I will move forward in this step. I will go forward 2-3 steps in the other trial. So in this case, you start to equilibrium between the economic crisis and the situation of your company. This is a different story in some way. For the COVID-19, you know, once we start to build our business planning at that time, since 10, 11 years, we talk about online market.
Okay.
And we start to build our online market since that time. Once the COVID-19 was started, our platform was ready to receive any calls from our customers or new customers. And it was a good step that we work on it. At that time, we didn't know that at certain times, some virus will come and stop everything. Stop our socialisms, stop our economic, stay at home, and all the concept that we know it, or we called about it right now. Our company was ready to interact online. And you know, in COVID-19, as our company is a specialist in a herbal supplement.
Okay.
So at this time, all people work to develop or boosting their immune system. And they have two ways to boost their immune system, even in pharmacies, or by calling some companies specialists like us. Because they believe in herbal supplement much more than they believe in medicines. So it was a good step for us through COVID-19. But still, with both of this economic, we move in very hard way. But we have the good skills, the goodwill, and we refuse to give up. It's one of three essential points that any entrepreneurs need to have it to develop his business.
Okay, speaking of that, there are always restrictions with regards to any industry or any any new product. And herbalism, as you've mentioned, it's not very well accepted as much as the traditional medical brands,
Sure.
big pharma, and so on. So how did you manage to overcome such restrictions, especially now that you have an e-commerce business and you're going to have a franchise?
Yes, it's totally agree. We are living in Middle East, and even in the Arab or Gulf countries, it's not allowed the herbal supplement. We are not in Far East. In China, Sri Lanka, Philippines, India, or some others there in Far East, it's allowed the herbal medicine. You can find everywhere a herbal shop. Even I study in Europe. So even in Europe, it's not allowed the herbal medicine. Okay, you can find some of herbal medicine in pharmacies as supplement. Okay, even they didn't call them herbal medicine. So you are right. It's very hard to work in this concept and in a concept such as our company. But always you should look in the good way, not in the bad way. It's difficult, true, but we still work on it. It's not totally closed. The way it's not totally closed.
I think what you're trying to do now is to educate more people about the benefits of herbal medicine.
We start in one universities in Lebanon to introduce a new specialization. We call it herbalism.
Nice.
And it was planning to start in the last February, before the COVID-19 closed everything worldwide. So for now it's postponed till I think till the end of 2021. But we was working on this to enter a new specialization. We call it herbal medicine. To learn people use the herbal in a good way and in a science way. And if we succeed in this point, in this case, we can move this new concept to be more to legislation this concept.
Well, I surely hope that you succeed. Definitely this shows that you're an idea-driven entrepreneur. And
This is what we call it, innovation-driven enterprises.
And now, with all that's happening, you have one branch in Lebanon. You have an online store, an online platform, and you have begun franchising your herbal products and in the Gulf region. So, how do you think 2030 is looking like for Herbatica?
I'm very optimistic, and for 2030, I think I will succeed in to enter this new specialization in any one of any universities in Lebanon or in any Gulf countries. I have all the hope that we can succeed in Gulf to enter in this large platform worldwide. I don't know. I'm always optimist.
So, well, you're here in Bahrain now, and we wanted to ask you, for our viewers, why did you choose Bahrain? Because many people say that it's really a starting point, door to the Gulf, and so on.
Look, I saw the Bahraini citizen. It's similar to the Lebanese. We have, I think, the same culture.
Okay.
Most of Bahraini companies are companies, as in Lebanon. In Lebanon, I think 60 to 70% of companies start by being family business. Then some of them they behave more biggest, some others still small business, but all of them start by family business. The way of Bahraini thinking, it's a little bit similar to the Lebanese. So we have the same, let's say, the same interest.
Mm-hmm.
As well, for me, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, the big door to the Gulf, it's Bahrain.
Oh.
So if you want to succeed in Saudi, in Emirates, in Kuwait, or any other Gulf countries, you should start by succeed in Bahrain. That's what I saw it, and I tested. I'm being here since 10 years. So since 10 years, I came to Bahrain. I have a lot of friends here. I met I make a lot of companies here through Unido and the Center of Bahrain Investment Promotion Program, even Idpo. So I think this is one of the common points that I work on it. But you know, to sign a franchise in Gulf, as our concepts, it's very, very difficult. You are not opening a restaurant here. So opening a restaurant is very easy. You know, the concept is very easy. The menu is very easy. So it's, I think it's easy to open a restaurant through franchise. To open a company such as Herbatica in Gulf, it's a little bit difficult and need more study. You know, in our company, we work on essential oils and basic oils. We have category related to essential and basic oil. We have category related to organic creams and scrub and shampoo that we work on organic sectors. We have a sector related to organic honey and all kind of mixed honey that we work on it. We have the Lebanese product, the premium Lebanese product. We have a sector in the Lebanese product. We have another sector, it's for spices, Lebanese and foreign spices. We have more than 65 kind of spices that used in kitchen from Lebanon and worldwide. And we have the sector of phytotherapies that we call it infusion tea. Okay. And we have sector, the seventh sector, it's the supplement, herbal supplement. And the sector, the eighth one, it's postponed now, that we call it a school to learn the benefits of herbal and the toxic herbal and non-toxic herbal.
Okay.
At this point, it's postponed until now to find the universities or private schools that we can work with them to develop this concept. I've been working on this concept since 10 years. I hope that we succeed one day at this point.
There's a saying that overnight success usually takes around 10 years. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Sometimes much more than 10 years. That's why we call it entrepreneur. Being entrepreneur, it's don't burn steps. Move step by step and try to resolve all difficulties that come on your way.
In a nice way, being optimistic.
Yeah, for sure. You can be entrepreneur if you are not optimistic. Stop being on. If you are if you can develop your optimism life, don't be an entrepreneur. Go work as employee in any companies.
So our last question is, what advice can you give to aspiring entrepreneurs and startups?
It's the last and the biggest questions. Don't give up. Don't give up. Start to build a good business planning. Start to ask or to find some center such as the Entrepreneurship Center or Unido or Idpo in your countries. Ask them. Start to develop a new concept. Start to work on your business plan. Start to do a good feasibility study. And don't imitate another idea. Start to create your own idea. Even if your neighbor or family don't believe in your idea. Don't ask anyone to believe in your idea. Try to ask yourself to believe in your idea. And once you believe in your idea, you start your first step to be entrepreneur. It's very difficult to be entrepreneurs, but being optimistic, which one is good?
Optimistic.
Optimistic, okay, great. So try to be optimistic. In this way, you start your first step to be entrepreneur.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's such a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And of course, this was brought to us by Unido, Idpo, and the Arab Center for Entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much, and excuse me about my English language. Probably I do some mistakes, but I will learn from more than interviews to be more well do in English language.
I thought it was perfect, and we hope that you enjoyed this interview. We will be sharing this on all our platforms, including Herbatica's platform.
Thank you so much.
And we'll share the information about Mr. Alexander and Herbatica in the description below. Thank you.